Anchoring is a major part of taking control of a negotiation. It's all about being proactive rather than being reactive. And when it's done effectively, it can be incredibly powerful. Some examples of anchoring that you'll be probably very familiar with are, well, there's a very current one, and that is in the Brexit negotiations. And what the EU have done very effectively in the run-up to these negotiations is that they've anchored a very large number, which is going to be our settlement bill or whatever you want to call it. So 50 billion is where it started. It crept up to nearer 100 billion as things have proceeded so far. And as that number has been anchored, people in the UK are starting to think, well, maybe we have to pay it. And if they're thinking we have to pay it, if we can get away with a lower amount, then we're doing well. We've beaten them down. Well, it's only because some people have allowed themselves to be anchored to that number in the first place. Another example would be if you're in the market to buy a house and you look on Rightmove or whichever search engine, and the value that's on there, whatever it may be, £495,000, well, that's an anchor point straight away, and it's there in black and white on the internet, and straight away your thinking will tend to be, well, that's the value of the property. If I can get it down a bit, that'll be a great result for me. So when people are selling, it's often easier for them to place the anchor point first. If you're buying, ignore their anchor point. You go in with your own anchor point. If you're selling, well, make the most of that protocol and anchor as early in the proceedings as you can do. Some tips as to how you can anchor are, well, first of all, I'd like you to go first. Get your number in first, as simple as that. That will help to anchor your number. What you want the other party doing then is thinking about your number, talking about your number. Even if they're talking about it negatively, they're talking about it, and anchoring is already starting to happen. Then what I want you to do is to metaphorically get them to try and pull you from your position. In other words, don't try and pull them from their position. You're getting anchored to them if you do. If they're coming to you and trying to pull you, well, I don't want you to be firm, not rude, but firm. And then if you need to, you can move from it. And that will help them to feel like they're beating you. They'll feel great about it then. So be firm. Go first. Make all the conversation about your number. Don't even mention their number or their proposal, otherwise there's a danger that you'll get anchored to it. So it works two ways. You want them to get anchored to your position, and of course this means you should never get anchored to theirs. I don't want you to ever even mention their number, otherwise there's a grave danger you'll start to become anchored to it.